new group of people.
Yeah, like I guess gaming stores run like D&D encounters every 2 weeks or something like that. So this was one of those. It's weird playing Dungeons and Dragons with people you don't know. It's also kind of weird playing when you're a first level character and you walk in and like you're way in over your head. At one point, I was surrounded by two wolves, a dire wolf, and a pack of bats, and I was just in trouble. But the DM was nice and kind of spared me, which was cool.
Now, was everybody you played with at level 1 or
no, not at all. Like there was a dude, I think it was like a level 9. Like when I was like, hi, I'm new, I want to play. He was like, all right, well, do you have a character? I was like, I got a level 1 character, and they went, oh, and kind of laughed. That's never a good sign when they just kind of laugh.
Yeah.
But it was cool, man. I mean,
they're like good cannon fodder.
Basically. But it was fun. I had a good time.
I saw a couple of tweets from you. So I saw you were in peril.
Yes, I was in great peril.
Did you survive the encounter, though?
I think so. I think I did.
Suspenseful ending.
Yeah. I mean, so far, I got hit once. I had 9 hit points. I got hit once.
Man. One hit could do you in.
I mean, yeah, I got hit by a fucking bat that took away a third of my hit points. So I'm down to 6. I'll put it to you like this. At one point, the sky opened up and did lightning damage on people for like 58 damage.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so I actually rolled a dexterity save and didn't get that, which was cool. But yeah, if that would have hit me, I'd have been dead like 10 times over. So, I mean, whatever. It was fun.
So was the DM just trying to go for like a TPK or anything? Or?
No, not at all. He's just playing to the level of this game has been going on apparently for 60 hours, I guess. So they've been playing for quite some time. It's just one of those things where like if new people show up, they can play.
Yeah.
So you can play, you just kind of jump in and out, So I don't think I'm going to go every other week. I might not go ever again. Well, it's more fun to play with people that you know.
Yeah.
Right.
Like it's just more enjoyable that way. And it's nothing against like the people that I was playing with. I don't know why I'm being so diplomatic. It's not like they're listening to any of this. But it's just,
This will be the one episode they listen to.
Yeah,
you didn't give him a card?
Yeah. But I do like the guy who runs the gaming store a lot, so
that's cool. I mean, maybe you'll find a group there to play locally with. That would be cool.
If I could just play online, I'd be satisfied with that too,
Yeah.
So
it's always nice to sit around with people and play, I would think.
True. But if I can have some good games with people I know, that would be enough,
Yeah.
So, what ifs? Like, once we get our Star Trek game going, that shit's going to be dope. Because we'll be playing that a lot. And then,
Dork Trek Adventures.
Yeah.
F the Prime Directive.
Yeah. You guys don't be liking the Prime Directive very much.
It's not our fault.
Hey, man, it was an accident.
We was scared.
I mean, everybody gets scared from time to time,
We're rookies.
Yeah.
It happens.
I was proud of you. It's been fun, and it was fun because like I said, it could have went either way.
Yeah.
So, are we waiting for Benjamin?
No, he's not coming tonight.
Yeah, I didn't think he was going to come.
All right, I didn't know that. Okay. I'm going to be honest and tell you guys I didn't watch the episode.
Oh, no.
So.
And you never seen this one before?
Never seen it, so I don't know.
Well, you've seen Back to the Future, right?
You know what? I love Back to the Future.
Okay, you've seen the episode.
Oh, cool. So it's Space Back to the Future?
Yeah.
I love Space Back to the Future.
It was all right.
Except for people disappearing in photographs, dogs turn into Odo.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
That's the only difference.
That's weird. Dogs turn into Odo?
Yes.
Why would dogs turn into Odo?
Well, a dog turned into Odo.
Okay. I'll have to go back and watch this one. So tell me what happens.
All right. Well, it's little green men. So I think I've heard people talk about this episode before in a negative fashion.
Okay.
So that kind of colored the way that I approached it, I think.
Okay.
But we'll have to see what happens.
Well, it starts out pretty promising because it's going to be a Ferengi episode. You've got what's his name? Nog.
I love Nog.
He's going off to Starfleet.
Yeah.
And, Quark and Rom are going to take him to Earth.
Okay.
Because he's selling all his shit to raise funds.
He's having a yard sale.
Like it's a Ferengi tradition to do a garage sale whenever they're about to go somewhere else. So they just sell all their stuff and try and raise some fundage.
And this is okay. So but why don't they just? I mean, they have money because they have Latinum and stuff. Why do they need?
Because this way you could make some deals with people.
Okay, so that kind of fulfills
and you're leaving, so they will never find you again when they figure out you swindled them.
All right. Okay, so Nog is leaving.
Yeah, he's going to Starfleet Academy.
Okay, so Nog is off to Starfleet, which we're all aware of. Okay, yeah. That's cool.
And Worf buys his tooth sharpener, which is kind of weird because he just tries it without cleaning it or anything. He just throws it in his mouth and starts sharpening his teeth.
That's pretty gross.
Yeah.
I would think that Klingons would have pretty, I don't know. It seems like they would have enough bacteria in their mouths or something to protect them from whatever the hell Ferengi could pass them.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's like dogs, right? Like dogs chew on bones to clean their, it's basically how they brush their teeth, right?
Yes, yes.
So I mean,
that's racist, Dennis.
It is, but I mean, that's one of those things that are true.
Yeah.
So it's not terrible.
I think if we chewed on bones, it might clean our teeth for us.
Yeah, I agree with Dennis.
Not as well because we don't have sharp teeth like Klingons and Ferengi do. Mm-hmm. So it probably works better for them.
I don't think Dennis is being racist at all.
Not at all. I love Klingons and Ferengi.
Yeah, me too. And
my best friends are Klingons and Ferengi.
If Ben would have said it, I'd have been like, that's suspect. But since Dennis said it, I think it gets a pass.
Unless he said it in Toby Keith's voice, though, right?
That's also true.
Hey, man.
Hey, man, look here, man.
I seen a dog chew on a bone and clean his teeth.
You shut your face.
Your butt chews on bones.
Chew on my butt. How was the con?
Oh, the con was great.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. Time Water Comic-Con. Time Water Comic-Con.
Did you guys get to meet Gates McFadden?
I did not. Ben interviewed her for the panel.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did anybody record anything, like video or anything of that?
No, they had a really strict no recording, no photography policy. Like they would kick you out of the room if they saw you even taking pictures. So.
Wow.
Really?
So Ben got to interview her?
Mm-hmm.
Did he get to take a picture with her?
I don't think so. I don't think you got to take any pictures because they were basically they came up at the beginning of the panel and said, yeah, we know you want to take pictures. So if you want one, go downstairs and talk to her about pricing for selfies or
sucks.
photo ops.
That's pretty lame.
Here, hang on. Yeah, that's lame. Hang on. Talk amongst yourselves.
So I got to ask you, Jenny, did you see her while you were there?
No, I didn't. I basically didn't go talk to any celebrities or do any of that kind of stuff. I was just at the table the entire time.
Oh, you got stuck there.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't totally stuck. I mean, I went and shopped around and stuff. I don't know.
See, because that's surprising. Because normally, I've seen more. No offense to Gates McFadden, but I've seen more famous people doing panels that get to take pictures with the person who does the panel, who's doing the interview. I mean, that's kind of dicky if you ask.
Or even just candid photos of them while they're doing the panel. What's the big deal with that?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I would assume that it was probably something to do with just their contract or whatever, how much they get paid to do the con, and here's we really want to try to focus on getting pictures at the table or, the paid photo ops or something. So
it has to be
do it for this price.
She's the one who had to demand that, right?
Probably.
I don't think Federale would make that rule up.
No. This is definitely a her rule, but still though, I mean, I'm
pretty sure when I was in Chris Claremont's panel, he didn't care about any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but Chris Claremont can also do other things. Gates McFadden's only making money off her face.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Why would you want to go downstairs and pay $20 for the selfie when you just took a selfie or took a picture of her up on stage?
But you're not in that picture.
Yeah, you never know. I mean,
I don't know.
Photoshop, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
it was a really good panel, though.
It just seems kind of shitty, though, that Ben, who did the interview, couldn't get like, hey, can I have a picture with you?
Yeah, you would think that at least he could have gotten a picture, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna call. I'm calling bullshit on that one, Gates McFadden. You and your pancake ass. You probably heard us talk shit about her. Like,
that's what I was gonna ask. That's what I was gonna ask Jenny if she saw her, because I want to know if she still has a pancake ass or not.
I didn't look at her ass. She looked great, though, to be honest. Like she's one of those like really casual panel type people, like where she walked up on the stage and she's like, oh, you're gonna do the questions, okay, cool. And she like literally climbed up and sat on the table and just sat there like cross-legged just sat there on the table. And she basically, like, I see that Ben interviewed her, but he asked for a couple questions and then like she just drove the entire thing.
Yeah. That's
I mean, they're professional con people, so they know what they want to talk about.
Something similar happened when actually both times last year when I did Neil Adams Federal. I was like, he's the guy that runs Tidewater Comic Con. He's a friend of ours. I've known him forever. He's like, hey, do you want to run the Neil Adams panel? And I was like, sure, that sounds awesome. And so I met Neil Adams. I was like, okay, I'm going to run your panel. He's like, yeah, I don't really need anybody to do that. I was like, okay. So I just introduced him and I was like, ladies and gentlemen, Neil Adams. And then he talked for an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And something similar happened with Jonathan Hickman, who wrote for the Fantastic Four. He wrote for Marvel. He writes for Image and stuff like that. It was the same thing. I was like, I'm going to run your panel. He's like, yeah, I don't really need anybody to do that. So I did the same thing. I just introduced him and sat down and listened. It was cool.
Yeah, Claremont was the same way. He just basically started talking.
Yeah, because they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she took some questions from the audience for about half of the panel. So
how come your ass is so flat? Why won't you let Ben get a picture with you?
On the table so much.
Bitch, you tripping. Those would have been my questions. Why is your ass so flat? Why won't you let Ben take a picture with you? And bitch, you tripping. That'd have been all three of my questions.
next year, we'll get her.
Like he thought about asking, but he was like, you know what? Maybe I might want to interview some more people at panels in the future. So maybe I shouldn't do that. Yeah,
that would have been and I would have asked, bitch, you tripping as a question. Question mark. Bitch, you tripping.
Draw the question mark in the air.
Sir, what's your third question? Bitch, you tripping.
Bitch, you tripping. Yes, I am tripping. I'm actually tripping balls. It's pretty awesome right now. It kind of makes these things tolerable.
Your Honor, please direct the witness to answer the question.
Bitch, you tripping. So Gates McFadden, that's pretty fun.
Yeah,
all right.
Good for him. I mean, as far as Star Trek goes, it's pretty cool.
I mean, that's a good get.
Yeah.
You know, Gates McFadden, I mean, wowie zowie. We haven't met her yet.
No.
You know?
I mean, I doubt she could replace our best friend.
I mean, yeah, he's our mans in them. I actually had one of my recent Facebook memories was a picture of me and Dennis talking to our best friend in the whole wide world, our BF.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
It's good times.
It was wonderful. Reading rainbow ass. Look at him. He's great.
Kuta.
Yeah, buddy. So this episode is called Little Green Men.
Yeah.
All right, so Nog is selling all of his stuff because he's leaving. Like, this is it.
Yeah, that makes sense for Ferengi to do something like this.
Yeah.
Trying to make some money real quick.
But what does he need money for? He's going to Earth. Like, they don't have money on Earth.
I mean, if you're Ferengi, you always need money.
Mm-hmm.
You always got to have a fat stack.
All right.
Have your street cred.
Retire at some point or have kids or something. You know.
Yeah, you can invest it.
Exactly.
Put it into a nice mutual fund or something like that. So Quark tells Rom to go check out this shuttle that he got from his cousin Gala.
Okay.
That I guess he was supposed to give him a long time ago, but now he finally got it.
Now, are these like real cousins, or is it how sometimes like my African American friends in like junior high would talk about
Yes.
they cousins?
I think it's like your African American friends.
Okay, because back in the day, I always thought it was because I was young and naive. I didn't know any better. All my black friends were cousins, and I was like, "How do you have so many cousins?" And the guy was like, "Are you fucking serious?" I was like, "I don't know these things."
Yo, cracker.
Yo, you dumbass white boy.
And I just learned something new today.
What did you learn today? That they're not all cousins?
I didn't know, like because people were like that in my school too.
See, these are cool.
I figure it's just a small town. Everybody fucking knows each other. Everybody's related to each other.
It's a small town.
It was, though, to be fair. Like we had one high school for the entire county.
Okay,
so
that is pretty small.
So I figured it's
where
plausible.
my dad grew up, they pretty much were all cousins.
They cousins. So. I'm down with that.
Yeah.
So in Dennis's case, they were all cousins. And Jenny, well, maybe even in Jenny's case, they might have been. But at Brandon Junior High School in 1991, probably not all cousins, just friends.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, there was like 1,000 kids that went to my junior high school. It was nuts. But not all cousins. They friends. All right. Okay. So this is a friend, not a cousin.
His cousin Gayla.
Okay.
So yeah. So Rom checks out. It's in wonderful condition because Quark thought something might be fucked up with it.
But, because Gayla's trying to fuck him over, I guess.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. I don't think, and see, that's the thing. I don't think he bought it from him. I think maybe he like won it from him in a game or something.
Okay.
Like
so it's like
a hand, like a great hand of Sabak or something.
Okay.
You know?
Much like the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right.
So they're going to take it on a maiden voyage to Earth to drop off Nog
Okay.
at Starfleet Academy. Because I guess it's far enough away where they could really put it through its paces. It's kind of the excuse that Quark gives because he's trying to act like he's not being nice, but I think deep down inside he's going to miss Nog.
Of course you're going to miss. Nog's a good worker. You know?
Yeah.
And he's a good kid, and he's pretty smart, and he fixes a lot of stuff, and he ain't hurting nobody, that Nog.
Yeah.
He best friends with your mans and them. With tall-ass Jake.
Super tall Jake. And there's a scene where Jake is walking him to the shuttle, and they're on the promenade, and Jake is literally twice his size.
Yeah, like it looks like that's his son at this point. Like Jake adopted Nog as like his dumbass son, and he's like, yeah.
Jake might as well be Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yeah,
I mean, he's just fucking tall as shit.
But I mean, there were points that were in like the one episode where like Jake was moving through time to try to save his dad, where he was walking through a doorway on the Defiant, and he had to duck to get through because he's gigantic.
Yeah,
I mean, he's just
actually super tall.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
Yeah.
And I believe he's actually really cousins with Kenny Lofton, the old baseball player.
Yeah.
I believe Kenny Lofton, the old baseball player, is
his
cousin.
Doesn't Kenny Lofton has a cousin who plays a different sport? I want to say.
That's racist.
Well, I do know that Dwight Gooden and Gary Sheffield are cousins.
They cousins. But Eric Davis and Daryl.
I remember that because I got a Gary Sheffield baseball card from a box of honeycomb. that was the fact that was on the back of it.
Right. And Daryl Strawberry and Eric Davis ain't cousins; they just friends. But they both grew up like in Compton or whatever, but not cousins. Correct?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I never heard that one before.
Mm-hmm. They're boys. Remember when they all went to the Dodgers together? And it was like when Strawberry went to the Dodgers and Eric Davis went to the Dodgers. It was like their boyhood friends come together to be on this team or whatever. You don't remember that?
I don't remember the story. I mean, obviously, I remember when they played with the Dodgers.
It was like two Rickies as opposed to Ricky and Doughboy. There was two Rickies in that neighborhood.
Yeah. Man, Eric Davis was real good.
But they didn't get shot running from those dudes. They lived and played baseball. And then one of them became addicted to drugs. And then
continued to be addicted to drugs.
And then one of them got called a $1 million N-word by her owner. I don't know if you remember that, which is weird because
he wasn't the first one, probably.
That was the one that I think.
I'm sure Joe Morgan caught that one a couple times.
That was the straw that broke the camel's back, I believe, with Marge Schott. And it's weird because she was the owner.
Not the Nazi stuff?
All that stuff, like it all. Yeah. But the weird part about Marge Schott is living in Cincinnati. The Schott family, they give money to everything in every place you can possibly imagine. Like they have like the Schott wing of the zoo and the Schott exhibit here, and like they're a huge part of Cincinnati. And it's just so weird to me that I'm like, that lady's a crazy racist person. They're like, yeah,
yeah, exactly.
Like
she gives out money everywhere,
so I think right. It's just kind of like your old racist grandpa, where you're like, yeah, grandpa is kind of a crazy.
She's from a different time.
Yeah. What time is that? I don't want that time to ever happen again. But yeah, she's very. Her family has a lot of philanthropy here in Cincinnati, Ohio. I mean, it's everywhere. It's crazy.
Makes sense.
I guess.
I mean, to own a baseball team, from that era, you kind of have to be somebody.
Oh, yeah, totally. So, anywho.
Didn't Eric Davis got cancer, right?
Yeah, so did Joe Strawberry.
Yeah.
They friends.
Friend cancer.
They got friend cancer.
Oh my God.
They got the friend cancer. Oh, you got it too? Hey, we friends. We cancer friends.
Oh, doctor, you telling me I have cancer? Yes. Now, do you have any friends? Because they might have this cancer. This is a very common cancer that friends often contract at the same time.
I don't want no friends. I'm going to get it. No friends for me, Jack.
It's best to be a loner so you don't get that friends cancer.
I don't need no friends cancer. You better get out my face with that crazy stuff.
Like I'm safe.
You have friends, Jenny.
It spreads faster if you watch Friends.
Oh, well, I'm good then. I'm immune. I've never seen that show.
I mean, to be fair, yeah, I've never really seen it. So.
You never seen Friends?
No.
Really?
Yeah. I may have watched an episode and knew that it was not for me and never tried again.
You know what? This show doesn't speak to me. This show is not for me.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that. I never liked Friends. I always thought it was odd that Jennifer Aniston's nipples were always hard. Like always. That's the only thing I ever saw of that show. Anytime I was like, her nipples are hard again. Like, what's the temperature in the studio that they keep it at in this fucking place?
They have a fan directly over her head at all times.
That doesn't magically move her hair at all. Like, yeah, I just didn't get Friends. I just wasn't into it.
Yeah.
Did you watch Friends, Dennis?
Yeah, well, I was at the Academy at the time. And
that doesn't make it right.
Everybody watched it.
That doesn't make it right.
I don't know. It's like one of those things, because you couldn't have... until you were a senior, you couldn't have a TV in your room.
Mm-hmm.
So we all had to use the one common area for each squadron. And so whatever the majority wanted to watch is what got watched on the TV. So Thursday nights, Seinfeld, Friends, all that kind of stuff. So.
Okay. That makes sense. Yeah, but you still didn't have to watch it. You could have closed your eyes.
Yeah, but I mean, the only alternative was do homework. I wasn't doing that.
Or just masturbate like everybody else does, like a normal person.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you? You must be crazy.
I did that too.
Jennifer Aniston's nipples.
Yeah, I mean, you had to fill the spank bank back then because there was no internets.
That's true. All right, you know
not
what,
any
Dennis?
Good internets. It was all still photos.
I mean, but
that took 10 minutes to load.
Yeah, but I mean, I still found a way.
Yeah.
When you're a horny teenager, there's a way.
There's always a way.
Always trouble.
The wind can blow just right to get you hard.
Ooh, I know what I'm doing.
I hate when that happens.
I guess to change my plans.
Better take care of this.
This ain't gonna take care of itself now. I'm gonna go touch my pee-pee.
I get mad when I get random boners now because I'm like, damn it, don't waste them.
Yeah,
I've got to be getting high on my lifetime count. I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't want to hit the
Like a
max.
limited number or something?
I'm
afraid of that. Yeah.
I've always agreed. I've always subscribed to that there's like when you're born, you're given a set number of erections,
Fascinating.
and when you're out, you're out. That's just the way.
It's such a bummer when I'm just sitting at work and then all of a sudden it's like, hey, what's going on here? It's like,
You
no,
still get those? That's
go
so
away.
That's so weird that you still get those.
Yeah.
You still get phantom boners.
Yeah. Then I gotta sit down because I can't walk around with a raging boner in my pants.
Why, Dennis?
I think you can. You just choose not to.
Well, I could. Yeah.
You're a coward.
I am. Yeah. You know what? I am.
Dennis doesn't want to lose his job.
I don't want all these ladies trying to wreck my home.
To lose your jobs. You come home and your foreign wife yells at you for losing your job because you get a boner.
Yeah. I mean, I get yelled at for enough things. I don't need to add that to the list.
I'm sure your wife yells at you for having a boner too, so you don't need her yelling at you because, that'd be tough.
Yeah.
Dennis, what did I tell you about being a sex maniac? I don't know that's a good Turkish accent or not. That's as good as you're going to get from me.
It may not have been in the ballpark, but it is probably the right sport, at least. So,
Dennis, I told you not to be such a sex pervert.
oh damn it! Random boner again.
Well, that's not random. We enticing it. We'll make it come out.
Talking that boner out of me.
And baby, talk dirty to me. So
yeah, so they're flying there, but halfway to the flight to Earth, Rom figures out that Quark is actually smuggling some chemosite, which is dangerous explosives, because they can only go a certain warp. Because if they go too fast, it might blow up.
Okay, all right. It's the politics of contraband. It's the smuggler's blues, dude.
Exactly.
Totally. Glenn
Smuggler's blues.
That's the best song, dude. Like, I don't care what anybody says. That is the best Eagle solo song ever. Smuggler's Blues by Glenn Frey. If you haven't listened to it in a long time, I'll put it up on the Facebook page later so you guys can see.
The Fat Smuggler's Blues.
It's politics of contraband. It's the Smuggler's Blues. It's great, dude. I love that song. Oh, and by the way, speaking of Facebook, real quick, I just want to get it out of the way. I did indeed put up the poll about Russell Brand last week. Is Russell Brand a white people thing? 59 with 44 votes. I got to say, that's a lot of votes.
That is a lot of votes.
I didn't think we'd get 44 votes when I put this up. The question was, is Russell Brand a white people thing? 59% of the audience said yes, it indeed is. 41% said no. So
I'm going to vote on it right now. You get one more vote for yes.
Oh, there you go. Now it's 60-40.
Wow.
I was trying really hard to find a picture of Russell Brand giving like thumbs down, but I couldn't. But I did get a good thumbs up one, which I was pretty happy about.
He really doesn't seem like a thumbs down kind of person, to his credit. But that's the only thing I can credit to him.
He's garbage.
What were you going to say, Jenny?
He's garbage.
I like Russell Brand because he's kind of so open and honest about his addictions.
I'll give him that.
That's the one thing that I really kind of, as a person who is, I don't want to say struggled with addiction, because it's not like I've ever gone after I quit. It's not like I ever went back to it or whatever, but I find his view on it and his take on it kind of refreshing, and his insight into addiction, I think, is cool.
I can see that.
So, and I also like the fact that like sometimes he lets men blow him. I mean, nothing.
I mean, I'm fine with that too. He gets my damn nerves.
I don't know.
It's just not funny.
I don't know. So I can read you some of the. I can read you, but again, you're not white.
Exactly. That was my hypothesis.
And 60% of the audience says that it's a white.
And so if this was Levitard, that means that anything over 50% means that it's true.
Scott Caldwell says he's a nobody's thing. Somebody else agreed to that. Paul Gunter said he's like Tom Green, never saw the appeal. Dennis chimed in with, we have the smartest and best listeners. Somebody said Jeremiah said he's like a durian. I don't know what that is. The fruit that is like
durian.
Yeah, durian. It looks like custard and smells horrible, but people love it.
That's very, very accurate. That is the most accurate description I've ever heard for Russell Brand.
That's a really, really stinky fruit.
Yeah. Alan, our good friend New Mutant on Twitter, said is no, but he damn show ain't for me a choice. And then somebody else just said, no, he's a Bob France thing. So there you go.
Yeah.
Those are some of the comments.
Yeah. Well, I mean, more than just you have to like him, obviously. He has a career.
Yeah, he writes books that people read and stuff. I saw him on Ice. He actually made Megyn Kelly enjoyable to watch. I was at the gym and he was on Megyn Kelly, and I was like, wow, he can make Megyn Kelly seem like charismatic. That's got to be hard. It's a lot of heavy
on her current show, or when she was on
her
Fox?
Current show. Like her current shows. Her current show's not good. I mean, for God's sakes, Dennis, she asked Jane Fonda if she ever had like a facelift and stuff.
Oh, really?
Yes, like on television. She was like, oh, your facelifts and things like that or whatever. And Jane Fonda was like, bitch, what are you talking about? Like, I'm 78 years old. You know what I mean? Like, oh, it was really, really kind of weird. But anyway, so yeah, that'll be the next.
You know, you said Jane Fonda, and for some reason, my brain imagined Jane Pauley. I was like, that was really weird to ask Jane Pauley if she had a face.
No, this is Jane Fonda, who's great from, what's it called? What's the name?
Barbarella.
Yes, she said, well, Barbarella's great, but I mean, she's also on that show with the old ladies and the vibrators there.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah, Grace, Frankie and Grace or whatever.
Oh.
Yeah.
I haven't watched that.
The old lady vibrator show.
Yeah, that's the old lady vibrator show. It's a good show.
Wait, do they use vibrators on themselves in the show?
No, well, they use it on each other.
Really?
What?
No.
I was going to start watching it like immediately.
Add to queue.
No, they sell Vibe. Like they're both of their husbands leave them for each other. Like they've known each other their whole lives. Their husbands have a law partner together, but they're closet homosexuals. They leave at like their retirement or whatever. At a ripe old age of like 70, they leave each other. They leave their wives for each other, and they're kind of forced to live together. And then it's pretty funny. It's good.
Wait, so did their wives know that they were gay the whole time?
No, they had no idea.
That's kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah. It sounds a little too sad. Like, I don't know if I could get past that for the comedy aspect of it.
It is kind of sad, and they definitely delve into the sadness of it because, like, now these two women are alone, you know, in their twilight years, but then they kind of have each other, but they don't really like each other, but they grow to kind of love each other. It's a good show, I'm telling you. All the time.
Okay.
They just be diking out like a mug.
Double-ended dildos?
Yeah, baby. Put your tongue in my...
Man, Netflix is really...
I mean, you know, they got to appeal to a broad audience. Who doesn't want to
certainly piqued my interest now.
Who doesn't want to watch two old ladies bump clams, bro? You know what I'm saying?
I won't say I'm not curious.
I mean, especially one of those ladies is Jane Fonda. I mean,
and who's the other one?
Like Lily Tomlin or something.
Yes, and Lily Tomlin's just a goddamn comedy genius. So it's worth.
She's wonderful.
Yeah, so it's definitely worth watching. And Sam Waterstein's in it.
Really?
Is he one of the gay?
Yes.
People?
Him and Martin Sheen are the gay couple. I'm telling you, the show's really good.
See, I've been watching a lot of Law and Order. I don't know if I could go back to watching that.
Part of it, that's why part of it's great, because in your head you're thinking like Jack McCoy left New York City and went to California and became a gay homosexual.
I mean, he was really leaning into his heterosexuality too. I mean, he was such a ladies' man as Jack McCoy, DA.
He loves peen.
Yeah.
Good show. I'm telling you, watch it. And then I think Keith David shows up in it later as Lily Tomlin's boyfriend. Alan Embry, you know who he is. He was in That Thing You Do. He was the bass player in That Thing You Do. He was in Can't Hardly Wait.
Okay.
He plays a hippie dude who's like a recovering drug addict who is Lily Tomlin's son. So he's pretty. It's a good show. It's a good show. Stephanie and I watched a little bit of it. I need to get back in. It's just one of those things that like just kind of I'll watch like 4 episodes and we'll start watching The Office again.
Mm-hmm.
But it's fun. It's good.
It helps if it's a show that I can put on in the background while I'm working on other things, because that's the only way I can watch anything, which is why I've been watching the shit out of Law and Order lately, because I can just sit there and put it on and not pay attention to it.
Yeah, like whenever you hear the dong dong, that's when you know to look up and see what's going on now.
Yeah.
Law and Order is a great show. Like, don't sleep on Law and Order, though. I mean, like, I love Lenny Briscoe. He may be one of my favorite TV characters of all time.
Yeah, I could see that.
You know, and like he does such good work. I mean, with everybody, like the episodes with Green are awesome. The episodes with Benjamin Bratt also good. Like, I love Lenny Briscoe.
See, I accidentally watched one of the later episodes because I just set my DVR to like record every episode, right? So like I accidentally played one from like season 21 or something, and there's like totally different people on it.
Yes.
And McCoy is like the DA or something, and I'm like, what the hell is going on?
But you know what?
Cutter and Connie.
It actually got pretty good then, though.
I like that grouping. Yeah, with Jeremy Sisto and Anthony Anderson as the cops.
Once it started getting good again, they canceled it.
Yeah.
Because, like, they had Jeremy Sisto and Anthony Anderson, and then they had Cutter, who was
Linus Roach.
Yes, he's a British dude. He played.
He's awesome, man. I like that guy.
Yeah, so do I. I think he's great. And then Connie was awesome. It was a good. That's when I got really.
Connie Ruberosa.
Yeah, she's real fine, Daddy. It did go through kind of a snoozer period where like they really didn't know what they were doing. Because like when Lenny Briscoe left, then they brought in Dennis Farina.
Yeah.
Who was pretty good. And then him and Green were together, and then Green left, and then they stuck him with. Wasn't Michael Imperioli on the show for a little while?
He was on the show for a little while, but then Green comes back, right?
Yeah, because Green had like a gambling problem or some weird shit like that.
Yeah.
Or he got shot or something. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think he did get shot. But the
then
first time he left, he got shot. And then when he finally left, it was because he killed some guy because of his friend's gambling issues.
Yeah. But I liked Green a lot. I thought Green was cool. And then they brought in Jeremy Sisto. And then it kind of went through some weird.
When they brought him in, it was kind of weird because he was like on like some FBI posting overseas or something. And so he was all ratty and everything and used to dealing with terrorists. It was kind of weird.
And he was with Dennis Farina at first, wasn't he?
No, he was with Ed Green.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I love that show.
Yeah.
I mean, it's weird to watch episodes that Lenny Briscoe isn't in because he wasn't in the first 2 seasons, I don't think. And those are just like, what the fuck? Like, there's shows without Briscoe. This is stupid.
The ones I'm watching right now are from like the mid 90s when they're just trying to like introduce like any kind of technology. The internet has become a thing, and it's kind of hilarious. It's kind of like watching the movie Hackers, where they're like, oh, they're on an electronic bulletin board.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Doesn't this electronic mail have a return address?
Some of those early seasons are pretty fucking racy. Like just the content that they cover and everything. Like a lot of it is race issues type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of sex type things happening. It's like really, they were really kind of more lowbrow than the show kind of became eventually.
Yeah. Well, then they started doing a lot of rip from the headlines. Yeah. And like the rip from the headlines episodes were always, I mean, they were okay, I guess.
It's a good show. I mean, it's good. It's a good study show, like you said, Jenny. Yeah. When you're doing something, it's good to have it on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I love me some Lenny Briscoe, Jack. I remember when he died, I was real sad.
Yeah.
He was a song and dance man. He was in Chicago, for God's sakes.
Jerry Orbach.
I love Jerry Orbach. He's awesome. So, and that's why it was cool when him and Ed were on the show together, because Ed was a song and dance man too.
I love Jesse L. Martin.
Yeah.
Like when I watch The Flash, I just imagine that it's Ed Green. He's done like witness relocation or something, so he changed his name to what's his name?
I don't know, but you know
Joe West.
His name's
Joe, right? Joe West.
They cousins. Ed Green and Joe West. They cousins.
Yeah. Identical cousins.
Yeah. That's like Patty Duke, son. So. But anywho, let's get back to
yeah. So they
sabotage.
They start getting close to Earth, but they can't come out of warp.
Smuggler's Blue.
Yeah, that's what happens, man. So Rom comes up with the idea that if they blow up a little bit of the chemosite, then they can make the ship stop. Otherwise, they're just going to keep accelerating until they blow up anyway. So they give it a shot. And everybody passes out. And when they wake up...
They were huffing.
Yeah, when they wake up, they were in like an exam room with pictures of brains on the wall and all kinds of medical, stethoscopes and everything all around them, scalpels.
That's kinky.
Yeah. And then they wake up and beat the crap out of the first person they see.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's normally what you do. At least if you're...
That's what I do.
Yep. If you're a party member on Dork Trek Adventures, that's the first thing you do. You start kicking somebody's ass. What the fuck?
Hey, motherfucker, where are we?
Why are you keeping us in here?
You scream, I'll fucking kill you.
I swear to God, bitch, I'll kill you and your whole fucking family. Real scary.
Don't make me eat your penis.
With my mouth. So they wake up and they in this weird
They're
room.
in Roswell, New Mexico.
Oh,
July 1947.
Oh. Now does Rom become his own grandfather?
That's the first thing I thought. I was like, which one of these guys? Because they start showing like some of the soldiers who are around and everything. I was like, which guy is Fry's grandpa?
Man, that's one of my favorite episodes of any TV shows ever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love.
I thought that's where it was going when he's like, "Hey, lady,
at least I'm not my own grandpa."
That's like when Futurama was right. Futurama was right. Like, does that make sense?
Best shows.
Yeah. Because some of the newer episodes that they brought back when they kind of redid it weren't as great as some of the first run, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because when Comedy Central started doing new live ones, I was like, "Oh, this is really awesome," and then I was like.
It's still a good show, though. Like, if you go back and watch it now, it holds up pretty well.
No, Futurama's great. I love Futurama. I love the Robot Devil.
The Robot Preacher is pretty great too.
Yeah, Robot Preacher's great. I love Hedonism Bot. Like,
yeah,
he's a couch.
Yeah. And Calculon.
Yeah, Calculon's great. I just love that show.
They have a lot of quality robots on that show.
Yeah. I love the what's his name? The captain?
Zap Brannigan.
Zap Brannigan's great. That was the best when Billy West was reading all the Trump tweets in Zap Brannigan voice. Have you seen that online?
Yes.
Oh, that's the best. That was the best thing ever.
I don't know whether I like that or Mark Hamill reading them as Joker better.
The Joker was pretty great.
The Joker is good, but yeah, I don't know. I just appreciate the comedy of it.
Although even there was the one YouTube page where the guy would like slow down Trump's speeches to like half speed or 3/4 speed or something. So it's just slow enough. It sounds like he's super hammered. They were great.
It's probably not very far off, to be fair.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
So maybe it doesn't make him sound like it, but it exposes his drunkenness.
Yes.
Yeah.
Although he doesn't drink, apparently.
I mean, I'm sure he doesn't.
Of course, right. I mean, he's not known to lie, is he?
Not at all. That's what he's the most honest man. So. So they wake up in Roswell, and I imagine that causes all kind of havoc, right? Because I mean,
Yeah.
they're aliens and stuff.
Yeah, and they're, so the soldiers are watching. They can't understand them because their universal translators are on the fritz.
Ah,
I guess the
So-
blast like screwed up the frequency or something.
Yeah, which
So
I
anyway,
guess we learned that their universal translators are in their ears for some reason.
okay.
Hmm.
And so, like, Quark doesn't speak English then?
No, yeah, they're speaking Ferengi.
So, but wait a minute. So that means on the TV show now, when I'm watching, the only reason why I understand Quark is because I have a universal translator in?
No, I guess it works both ways, apparently. That's
Well, that definitely doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, now I'm confused. I always just assumed that he was speaking English, but he's not?
I just assumed that when they recorded it, they had a universal translator on the mics for the show, and then that translated it so we can
it's like
understand
Han
it.
Solo and Chewbacca, like they understand each other, like
That could be too, yeah.
everybody can speak their native language and everybody understands each other. But that's apparently not what's happening. Apparently, the universal translators are just translating everybody all the time.
It just makes
So-
everybody backwards.
So nobody on Deep Space Nine speaks the same language.
Apparently not.
So that means like there's a good chance that like Kira and Cisco don't both speak English. She's speaking Bajoran. He's speaking Common. Universal translator. Nah, man, I'm not. Nah,
Yeah,
that
and
doesn't work.
Dax is speaking Trill.
Yeah, no, that doesn't make any sense.
And see, it doesn't make any sense when like the Klingons start speaking Klingon. Why is it only translating some stuff that they say?
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Because translators are racist.
I just assumed everybody spoke English. So this whole time he's speaking Ferengi. It's all been universally translated for my eardrums.
I would assume though that like everybody who's been through Starfleet Academy is speaking English or whatever whatever language is in the future.
Yeah,
You know?
I imagine right.
American.
Yeah, hell yeah, man, they're speaking goddamn American. But yeah, I imagine everyone in Starfleet speaks Common,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
I guess. I mean, but the ships all have universal translators, and I don't know.
Man, this is hurting my brain, man. I don't.
Yeah, it really is kind of lame to have it go like this. Like, not have it be a device that they're wearing or anything, but have it actually be an implant in their heads was
Mhm.
just kind of weird. Because does everybody have an implant in their head, or just the Ferengi?
I think everybody does. But I thought it would be something that like would be almost like an implant in your brain or something so that you can speak it as well as hear it, And it's
Yeah.
not like something that would fall out or,
Exactly, because it's never
get
like
fried.
nothing has ever gone wrong with Universal Translator like this before. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And they've been through some weird shit. Like when they went back in time to the Bell riots,
Yeah.
nothing happened to them then,
Yeah, but they were all speaking English because they were part of the part of Starfleet.
That's true. That's true.
No, because
No.
because they were everyone who went back for the Bell riots was part of Starfleet.
Hmm.
No, because
Well, Dax, she was a Trill though.
but she's Starfleet, so I'm gonna assume she speaks
She is hundreds of years old, so she probably can speak a few languages.
She's had lots of tongues in her, baby.
Yeah.
I'm gonna imagine that Starfleet's primary language is English, because that's from Trump.
Yeah. Has
Well,
to be.
it started in Montana, right? So
Yeah, that's
America.
that's where all the Nazis live. Now, I mean, I'm not wrong. But then in that episode though, with the Bell riots, Kira showed up because remember Kira and what's his name? Why is my brain just not working tonight? Kira and O'Brien show up there,
oh yeah,
so maybe Kira speaks the English too.
that
Maybe.
doesn't make any sense. Why would she speak English? Because she grew up on Cardassian occupied Bajor.
Mhm.
Like, if anything, she would be able to speak Cardassian.
But all the Kardashians speak English too.
Nah, I don't know, man. It's just kind of fishy.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, this is the part of Star Trek that makes my brain hurt. So
you can't really think about it too much. But like when they do something like this, they're like, oh, here, let me fix your universal translator in your ear. Then it makes you ask all these questions like, wait a second.
Yeah.
Who all has universal translators, and how has this been working all of this time up until now?
Yeah,
and the thing is, like, I could understand if it was like a weird plot device that they needed for the story, but they really didn't need it other than to just fill time for this story. It just made it inconvenient for them to communicate with
and
anybody
to make it
for like
that
10
much
minutes.
clearer that these people are aliens, like because they're speaking a weird language and they can't really understand what the humans are saying. Because even when the humans talk, they show it from the Ferengi point of view, and it's all kind of garbled and everything.
That doesn't make any sense at all now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if anybody's going to know how to speak a lot of languages, it's going to be a Ferengi, because that they need to make money on every planet.
Yeah. Which makes me think, okay, so this universal translator is like, it's actually in their nervous system. So it's actually converting everything they hear into a language they can understand. It's like the Babelfish or whatever.
Yeah, but then how would Jake and Nog be friends? Because Jake is speaking English and Nog would be speaking Ferengi.
But Nog always has his universal translator in. So I can see how they can understand exactly.
Come out?
Exactly. That's the thing that's not answerable by this.
Is there a universal tongue that makes your tongue move?
Because if it's on the fritz, then when you're trying to speak your native language, if it forces you to, it doesn't make any sense. Because what if there's a whole bunch of different aliens in a room?
Yeah,
like they all have to be able to understand each other. You can't be speaking more than one language at one time.
And then, like, when it was on the fritz,
they shouldn't be able to communicate with each other if it's affecting how they speak.
Yeah. And the audience sure as shit shouldn't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah. So
that's why we need Ben here to answer these tough questions for
us. To make up something.
Exactly.
Some kind of bullshit that he's gonna make it seem like it's canon.
Dennis, I believe the word you're looking for is gobbledygook.
Yeah.
But I just, so then, like, because at least on Discovery, everyone is speaking English. The Klingons are speaking Klingon, and it's subtitled.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Like, I guess I can understand, from a production standpoint, that would get tough to keep up over a 22 episode season.
No, son. They all just, you know what? Let's just say they all speak English.
Especially for DS9, because, like, okay, any other show, they're always on a Federation ship, basically. Uh-huh. But this is, like, there's new aliens coming in every episode from all corners of the
then how does the
galaxy.
Universal Translator pick all that shit up so quickly?
Well, remember when the people that had, like, the Sally Brown hair came over from the Gamma Quadrant, and it took a while for the Universal Translator to figure out what they were saying.
Uh-huh. I do.
Like, it takes a little while for it to kind of pick up on the the communication.
Yeah, but how would it work like that? Like, it can just hear a language, and then all of a sudden
and it's the future, baby.
But all of a sudden you can hear it and speak it fluently just from hearing, like, a few sentences. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Man, you know what? Fuck Star Trek. I'm done. I quit. This is the last episode of this podcast. This show done fucked it all up for everybody.
It's
just
like
ignore that this episode even exists.
Have you ever seen the movie The 13th Warrior with Antonio Banderas?
Why would I watch a movie with Antonio
Banderas? I went to go see this with a friend of mine. And
hopefully you guys ain't friends no more.
No, but
they just want to go make out. It's fine.
Yeah.
There's a point in this. Like, I think he's supposed to be
the hot Spanish guy.
Yeah. I think he's supposed to be from Spain in the movie, and he ends up with these Vikings, and so they're all speaking, Norwegian or whatever their Viking language is. Yeah, and he doesn't understand it at the beginning of the movie, but then they do this semi-montage, I guess, which is supposed to take place over a week, and, like, he starts picking up, and by the end of the week, he can be fluent in their language. And I was like, that's such bullshit. There's no way
But he got a montage.
that could ever happen. Yeah. There's no way that could happen. But my friend, she's a linguist, and she's like, oh, no. I mean, he's a linguist, so they're very good at picking up other languages and stuff. It's like, there ain't no way.
Look at my face.
Yeah. Come on.
Bitch, you tripped.
I was born at night. It wasn't last night.
That's always one of my favorites. I love that. Beat you tripping.
So yeah, so this whole universal translator thing is just like Jenny said, it's basically there to take up time.
Yeah, this would have ruined the whole episode for me.
Yeah, it was kind of bad.
That was honestly not the worst part of this episode.
Really? Wow. Okay, that's saying a lot.
I mean, it really was like, it was just a stupid kind of time filler for this episode. It wasn't a plot device. It was just a thing to make them be like, have a problem to solve for about 10 minutes to fill time. That's it.
Well, looky here, we got technology.
Yeah. So they borrow the lady's hairpin and
yeah, because there's one lady who's
it.
there to be the nurse because that's what women did in the 1940s.
And they just jammed it in.
She's there. Her boyfriend's a scientist, and everybody else is military people.
Okay.
And so the scientist is supposed to be there to try and establish communications and figure out why these aliens are there. So they figure out the whole universal translator. They start communicating, and of course, Quark initially, he's like, "Hey, I want to sell you all this awesome technology we have. You want a transporter? You want to travel at warp speed? I can provide it to you. All you need to do is give me 2 million bars of gold." And so the general is like, "Okay, well, I need to talk to the president about this." So he goes to do that, and this whole time they're like tricking the nurse into giving them ear massages.
Oh, okay.
Basically, I mean, she's basically giving Nog a hand job.
Okay.
And she doesn't know she's doing it.
Yeah.
All right.
It was creepy, but also hilarious. That was probably one of my favorite parts.
Yeah, because he's like, "Oh, my ears hurt. Can you give me a massage?" And then Rama's like, "Oh, my ears are kind of hurting now too."
But they also have to understand how the future works, and like if they sell them this stuff, they're fucking up the whole time.
Nog actually said something to him. He basically said, "Don't F with time."
Yeah. But Quark is like, "Man, I'll make a whole new timeline where I run the galaxy."
Yeah.
And so all the humans leave, and they left the dog in the room, and then the dog, surprise, turns into Odo.
How did they not notice that they left a dog in the room that they didn't bring in with them to begin with?
Hey, where's Fido?
Yeah.
Why is there an extra dog here?
Like they did make a point.
In a medical facility.
They did make a point right before that. Like there was a scene outside where the general's about to go call the president or whatever, and then the dog runs up and the guy pets the dog. So they established, hey, there's a dog here, so that they could bring the dog into the room with them.
This
later.
dog is really hot and heavy. How are we gonna get this thing out of here?
Oh, it's a good sized dog. It's like a German Shepherd or something.
Yeah.
So he probably didn't have to get too hot and heavy. So yeah, so
right.
Odo's like, "All right, you're under arrest for smuggling Kibasite."
But do you think
the court's like, "Man, fuck you. There ain't no court you could take me to."
Yeah, should that be Odo's priority at this point? Like, I'm gonna arrest you in 19.
Yeah, Odo is being pretty dumb.
Yeah,
made no fucking sense.
It's like he doesn't know how to do anything else but be the constable
and a dog.
Yeah.
And a chair.
Look, I only know how to turn into things that arrest people, all right?
Yeah. Odo, how many butts did you sniff on your way here?
A bunch. Why are you asking? Don't ask the question if you're afraid of the answer.
Yeah. That would be awesome if he ended up getting neutered. But he didn't want to blow his cover, so he had to go through with it. And then the second half of the episode is them trying to recover his cut off testicles.
Well, to be fair, he doesn't have testicles anyway. Like,
but they have to cut off something, right?
Yeah, but it was
so
just
when they cut it off, it would turn into goo.
They're like, that's never happened before. We should probably put this dog to sleep.
I would watch that episode. It's basically Odo the Shaggy DA. So then they basically, at this point, they're fighting amongst each other because Quark wants to stay there and get rich, everybody else wants to try and find a way back to the 24th century.
Which makes sense.
Yeah. So eventually they figure out that, the general's not going to let him go. They're basically going to take him prisoner and dissect them and all kinds of crazy shit that people,
fun.
what we do with aliens when we find them,
Yeah.
basically.
Allegedly.
Yeah. And so I guess they also figure out that there's going to be a nuclear test soon. And Rom is like, okay, well, we came back in time by exposing the chemosite to the warp signature. So if we expose the chemosite to the nuclear blast, the beta radiation will send us forward in the future.
Science.
Exactly.
So we just need to get Doc Brown to go up to the top of the clock tower
Yeah.
and harness the power of the nuclear bomb.
Exactly.
Isn't it interesting how like all their hypotheses normally just work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just throw out one idea. Oh, sure, that's going to work. That's fine.
Because they're sitting there spitballing about how are we going to get back to the future, and Rom's like, well, we need a warp signature, which we can't do because nobody has warp drive now, or we need something else, or we need like a massive amount of beta radiation, but I don't know where we're going to find that. And then Nog, his going away gift from Julian
Just happens to be a whole bunch of beta radiation.
Well, it's like it's like a encyclopedia about Earth, like Earth history and everything like that. And he's been reading it the whole time. He's like, oh, I recognize these uniforms. These people are military from Australia, and they blew up a lot of nuclear bombs during this time, and that emits a lot of beta radiation. And so this is all just a bunch. It's a big contrived mess, basically.
Yeah.
This whole episode.
So this is all just bullshit.
The scientist and his nurse girlfriend, they don't want the aliens to get hurt, so they help them escape. And they go get the ship and take off and go back to the future.
But I tell you what, though, it does sound kind of whack, but I mean, at least it sounds entertaining.
I think it was entertaining because it was a Ferengi episode, basically.
Okay.
One of my favorite parts about it, because of that book that he got for his going away present, is when he's going through and it's like, hey, have you ever read about the Bell riots? Don't you think this guy looks just like Cisco?
Yeah. And then what does Quark say?
All humans look alike.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. I mean, he's right.
Yeah, it's true.
I
just thought it was great that they did a little callback to that episode.
Yeah.
Somebody actually noticed.
Yeah.
That is funny. I love it.
And so when they get back to the station, Quark gets arrested for smuggling.
Huh.
Of course.
Right. Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
I mean,
Dun.
and that's it. Okay, now I'm going to go back and watch this episode, and I'll give you my score next week.
Okay.
I will say I enjoyed it. I mean, a lot of things about it were terrible and stupid. But it was fun. Like, I had fun watching it.
Yeah.
I think this episode was dumb and awful, but I mean, not bad overall.
The thing
The book that he had was kind of stupid. I mean, it was like obviously just there as a plot device.
Yeah.
Everything was just plot devices after a plot device introduced so that it can move the story along.
Yeah.
If this was a TNG episode, it would be like a pretty good episode.
Really?
But like, I feel like the bar has been raised a little bit higher for DS9.
See, I'm going to agree with you on that. I think DS9 is a better program.
It's definitely a better storytelling show.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will say, as I was watching this, I was like, this is kind of a goofy episode. They're setting us up for like a really awesome episode next. And so I looked at what was coming up next. Klingons, baby.
Yeah.
All right.
And I mean, like, I think every now and then you need a goofy, like, because sometimes
you have to cleanse the palate.
Yeah. Sometimes the show is very serious. The last episode, Starship Down, was, I guess, kind of serious. There's some serious shit going on in here. I mean, a bunch of wars and the Defiant getting blowed up and people being stuck out in the middle of nowhere and Jem'Hadar everywhere. So you have like a silly little episode.
Yeah.
See, and I actually missed the last two episodes. I haven't caught up at all. So I didn't get that, like, this was the Dark episode followed right by the kind of silly time travel episode. So I might have had a different opinion about it if I had watched the last two.
And I mean, and I can watch Quark and Nog and fucking
Rom and Odo.
Yeah, I can watch them do anything because I find them super entertaining.
That was basically the main reason why I like this episode. I mean, it was, like Dennis said, it was fun.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't great. It was just an episode, but it was still, because it was a Ferengi episode, it was entertaining.
I can see that.
Hmm?
Makes sense to me.
So Jenny, what do you rate it?
I'm gonna, man, I feel like I'm being a little harsh, but I'm gonna give it a 4.5.
Whoa, that's really low.
Maybe a 5. I'm like right.
You don't have to give it a higher rating because I said, "Whoa, that's really low."
I was like kind of hesitating because I wasn't sure if it was like just average or slightly above average. So I don't know. Like I said, it was because it was Ferengi. It kind of got a little bit of a bonus because if it wasn't Ferengi, if it was like O'Brien and Julian and freaking Hera or something, it would be like a 2.
Wow. Okay, yeah, I can see that. Dennis, what do you say?
Yeah. I think this goes to show that a lot of these episodes kind of hinge on the performances of the people in it, and they, just having the right mix of characters and everything. So I think they got this they did a pretty good job. I thought. I give this a 6.
A 6?
It's very entertaining in spite of itself.
Okay.
See, I like that she rated it a little bit higher than I would have gone because that kind of like averages it out.
Yeah.
All right. And then I didn't watch.
I'd watch it again for sure.
Okay. All right. I mean, sometimes Star Trek does episodes like this well.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, for what it wasn't awful. It just wasn't. Like, I wouldn't go out of my way to watch it, but if it was on and I was just kind of like, oh, here's that episode again, that's okay, cool. I'll watch it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think sometimes, they kind of phoned it in with the writing on this one. And sometimes you can tell, like, the actors are just like, well, the script is garbage, and they don't really try as hard. But everybody seemed to put in a really good effort, so I think that made it a lot more entertaining.
Who was the general? Like, he was one of those character actors that, like, I was like, oh, it's that guy, but I can't remember where I've seen it before.
Charles Napier. He's in everything. He's the voice of the crazy guy on The Critic, on The Boss.
Oh, okay. Yes.
He's in the original series episode, The Way to Eden, where he plays like the weird space hippie guy playing the harp. Are you familiar with that episode of the original series?
Nope.
Okay. He's just in everything.
Oh, he was in Ernest Goes to Jail. That's probably where I saw him before.
He was in Men in Black. He was in episodes of he's just been in everything.
Right.
Like
and it looks like he's almost always a cop or a
general
army guy or something.
Yeah.
So,
he's
that
great.
Makes sense.
Yeah, like Charles Napier has literally been in everything.
Yeah. So he kind of added a little bit of value to this episode also because
he was the voice of the sheriff in Squidbillies.
Oh, that actually makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just been in everything. He was Duke Phillips in The Critic. If you ever watched The Critic, I love The Critic. Great show.
I have that on DVD. I need to sit down and watch it.
You own it on DVD and you haven't watched it?
You can get the entire series on Amazon for like $10.
Wow, that's a good buy.
It really is.
I love that show. Comedy Central would go through phases where they would just show it, and every time it would come on, I would watch. I just love it. I thought it was fantastic.
It is. It is awesome. Yeah, and I think maybe I'll do that right after we finish recording. I'm gonna go put The Critic on.
You should, dude. It's really great. Dennis, did you ever watch The Critic? I think we lost Dennis.
Did we lose Dennis?
Because he hasn't. There he is. Yes,
okay.
we can now.
I guess my mic went out. Sorry.
It's okay. You were
I was
whack.
wondering why nobody was saying anything when I was talking.
Listen, if we just ignore him, he'll stop talking.
These guys are a bunch of fucking assholes.
Fuck these dudes.
Yeah, I watched The Critic.
Critic's great.
Yeah, it was a great show.
Yeah.
I said Charles Napier was also in Rambo First Blood Part 2.
That's right.
That's where I was remembering him from mostly, I think. Like as far as a film performance.
He's been
a film.
That's right. He was in The Cable Guy. I forgot that. He was. I mean, he's just been in. I mean, he's been in everything. I mean, everything.
Yeah.
And he always plays the same guy. He plays like a cop or a general or like a prison guard or something. But he made a career out of it. So.
Yep. Good for him.
Yep, Charles Napier. I can't believe you haven't seen that episode, The Way to Eden. It's really funny. It's about these hippie dudes. And like there's like these weird
It's got to be a third season episode, right?
That's season 3, episode 20 with the space hippies.
Yeah.
And like they take over the Enterprise and they want to go to like, because they hang out with this guy.
Woodstock?
Yeah. They hang out with this guy named Dr. Severn, who's kind of like a cult leader. And he wants to take the ship to Eden, if you will. And yeah, it's just a weird hippie episode. It's pretty good.
I think I've seen parts of it, but once I got to late in season 2, I started skipping around, and I barely watched any of season 3. So.
Yeah, that's because season 3, some of it kind of sucks.
It's a little here and there.
Yeah, it has its moments. But I mean, I think, if we're going to be honest here, most of the original series kind of has its moments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that third season, they were really fighting for their lives, though.
Yeah, oh, yeah, they totally were. And it's a fight.
Please don't cancel us.
It's a fight they lost.
But they got canceled anyways.
Get busy living. Get busy dying. You're goddamn right. Well, there you go, everybody. That's the episode. I'll watch next week and give a rating. Maybe Ben can give us a rating and a bullshit theory on the universal translator things. Yeah. And
now, I know Ben's not going to listen because he's not on this episode.
Well,
but in case he does, you have a week to make this up. Ben.
We'll bring it up to him. You know what? We'll bring it up. Be like, Ben, tell us about the universal translators, and then we can all just take a nap. All right, that's the show, guys. Ben, tell us about the universal translators. Let's let him rattle on for 20 minutes.
20?
Yeah, because he's showing off so he can masturbate later.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying 20 is kind of low as an estimate.
Well, every 20 minutes you have to say, "Oh, yeah, and what about the blah blah blah," and just ask him.
Get him spinning off again.
Exactly.
Tell me more, Ben.
Now, everything you just said, do it in Bill Clinton voice.
Say it in Argyle voice.
Time was a man didn't need a universal translator.
We all spoke American.
That's right. We didn't speak your dirty languages.
And we liked it. We loved it.
So there you go, dudes. Well, thank you guys for listening to the podcast. As always, I forgot we had a poll question, but I forgot what it was.
It wasn't the Russell Brand one?
No, that's over. That's this week. I'm taking it down. That was the Russell Brand.
Oh, a new poll question.
Yeah, we had a new one. No, I was just going to put the video up for Smuggler's Blues.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, Smuggler's Blues.
And just make it a poll, a yes or no poll, but just have the video.
Is this song awesome?
No question. Just a video with a yes or no.
It's the politics of contraband. It's the Smuggler's Blues. I love that song. I might listen to that before I go to bed tonight and have dreams of cocaine.
Smuggler's Lullaby.
Yeah. So there you go, everybody. Thank you for listening. We'll talk to you guys next week. Arrivederci.
Bye.